The mitochondria plays a very important, crucial role in the overall process of cellular respiration. So here I want to review the structure of the mitochondria and talk about the parts of cellular respiration that do occur in that specific location. So first off, the mitochondria itself is a pretty elliptical or elliptically shaped organelle, and this organelle happens to have two different phospholipid bilayers as part of its structure. So if we look at them here, this one on the outside, this is what we refer to as the outer membrane of the mitochondria. And then we also have this other membrane that is just inside of that, which we refer to as the inner membrane. The inner membrane is a little bit unusual because it does have all of these folds in it, and the folds, when we talk about them, they are called cristae. And the whole reason for the folds is that these are going to really greatly increase the surface area of the inner membrane, which is really important for producing the majority of the ATP that we get from the whole cellular respiration process. So that's really why we have the folds there. Now with the mitochondria, because we do have the two different membranes, that leads to us having actually two different fluid-filled compartments there. So if we label those fluid-filled compartments that we happen to have, the very inside compartment is what we call the matrix. And then in between the inner and the outer membrane, in this area right here, this is what we call the intermembrane space. And so we'll have different things happen in those two locations. The inner membrane separates the matrix from the intermembrane space, and that's going to be important for helping us to generate ion gradients during the process of cellular respiration. So that's the overall structure of the mitochondria. We do have some DNA located in the matrix. There's also some ribosomes located in the matrix. But if we talk about the parts of cellular respiration that occur in the mitochondria, stage 2 and stage 3 happen here. So that second stage, is number 2, is what we call the citric acid cycle. And the citric acid cycle is going to take place inside the matrix. And this is where we're going to complete the breakdown of the organic carbon that we have. We're going to finish collecting the valuable electrons from the organic carbon. And by the time we finish the citric acid cycle, actually all of our carbon will be gone. We will have lost all of it as carbon dioxide molecules. The other part of cellular respiration that takes place in the mitochondria is stage number 3. And stage 3 is what we often refer to as the most important stage. And that stage, I'm drawing it right here on the inner membrane. That third stage is what we call oxidative phosphorylation. And oxidative phosphorylation is the stage that's going to generate really about 90% of the ATP that we get through this process. So that's really why that increased surface area on the cristae is so important, because if we increase that surface area, we're going to be able to run even more of stage 3. Which again is actually embedded right there on top of the membrane. So these are protein complexes. We'll call them later the electron transport chain, but they're embedded all over this. The other part of the oxidative phosphorylation is going to be ATP synthase molecules, and they will also be embedded on this membrane all over. And so that's the overall structure of the mitochondria. One other thing that I do want to point out is when we do have this separation of the matrix and the intermembrane space, we're going to have ion gradients. So in between here in the intermembrane space, we're going to find that we have a very high positive charge, and this will be due to lots of hydrogen ions, so H pluses, which we often refer to as protons, because that's really about all there is to them. And then on the inside in the matrix, there's just going to be a few of them there. So the inside is going to have a very low proton or hydrogen concentration compared to what we have on the outside. And I haven't labeled it over the whole entire place, but hopefully you can see that there's really a very big difference in the hydrogens that we do have in the two compartments.